Hello? Are we live? Are we live, YouTube? Just wait a second, because YouTube likes to sit there sometimes and not do anything.
It's definitely sitting there.
There's me. I see me. Do people hear me? There are the comments. It's there. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream today. My name is Ben. I'm joined by friend and lover of the channel, Patrick Fenn from Gearbox. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, Ben?
Yeah, I'm good. We last spoke a few months ago, didn't we? When Borderlands Game of the Year edition came out. And
well, I mean, yeah. We spoke a few minutes ago as well, but that, that's.
I mean, if you want to get serious about it, we spoke yesterday too. But before then, it's been a little while. And behind me here, we've got this very nice signed. There we go. Borderlands Game of the Year edition that you were generous enough to send back over with the Cultaholic boys when you met them in Las Vegas.
Yeah. I hope you've been enjoying that.
It sits on my desk and I look at it every day and I think that's a nice thing that I can look at whenever I want.
Good.
But we've got Borderlands 3. It's out next week. Is that right?
It's a little mind blowing. It hurts my brain a little bit to think about that.
I'm sure it's been a long time coming for you. You've been working there for years and years now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've been there about 7 years, and I was there when I was one of the first ones on the project back 5 years ago before I shifted back over to Battleborn to ship that.
Man, so a long tenure on this game, and it's gone gold, and it's coming out, and we'll all be able to play it. But until then, we're jumping into some Borderlands 2 Commander Lilith, the recent DLC that I've really enjoyed and you've worked extensively on, and we're going to play some of that.
Woo! Hell yeah!
I understand we've got you until the sex number, and then you've got to go off and blaze it, so you've got to shoot off around then. But we've got you for about an hour and a bit, and we're going to try and squeeze as much juicy gossip out of you as possible in that time.
Well, I'm ready. I'm in the juicer and I'm ready to go.
Okay, amazing. We're here. I've got the worst skin on that I could find. The lovely turkey head.
Oh, holy cow! Alex Price is in the chat. Sorry, you don't know him. I used to work with him at GameStop back like a decade ago.
Oh wow!
Hey, Alex. Yeah, that's weird.
Hi, Alex. Alex is here for you. He's not here for TripleJump.
Hey, maybe you'll get a subscribe out of it.
Maybe. So if you've got any Borderlands questions at home there in the chat, feel free to post them, and we'll put them to Patrick. We're here. So you are. Oh, look at that skin.
Sexy, right?
It's a nice chicken you've got there. It's a real nice chicken.
That's the one you actually get from this DLC.
Is it the chicken hat?
Yeah, it's technically the gas mask.
Oh right, and you've also got. You were telling me yesterday you've got a special Gearbox skin which shows that you're a member of staff.
Yeah, if you look at my chest, you can see the logo.
Look at that, very nice. We've got a question immediately here from Louis J. Weber. I've never played a Borderlands game, so I'm looking forward to this. Always wanted to try one. Where should I start?
Well. With one, of course.
With one. And Quite Insane echoes that as well and asks which character.
Oh, well, Sirens every time. I think both me and Ben are in agreement. Lilith is she's become, over the years, the central character of Borderlands. So I'm all about playing the Sirens. Lilith in 1, Maya in 2. Pre-sequel, if you want to annoy your friends, you play Claptrap because there's no Siren. And
Claptrap He's difficult. He's a challenge.
Yeah.
Claptrap.
He is infuriating in pre-sequel, but that's what we wanted to do there. We wanted to make him absolutely infuriating.
There's a whole DLC about why he's infuriating as well, which is amazing.
When we were making that DLC in pre-sequel, we were talking about what we wanted to do there, because it was inside Claptrap's head. We wanted a bunch of different Claptraps talking. Mm-hmm. And so we decided, all right, well, we have the filtering system. We can just do a bunch of different voice actors with just using the filtering system of Claptrap, and it'll sound really different. The problem was it just didn't sound that different. Like you could tell the difference between them, but they were really similar across the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Ben Cooper says, Patrick, I just wanted to say thank you. Borderlands has been a big part of how myself and my brother stay close now that we live hundreds of miles away. So yeah, just thanks.
Awesome. You're welcome. Love to hear stuff like that. We're always excited when people are playing together in long distance like this. I do the same thing with my brother. Not only Borderlands, but other good co-op games. You know, Crash Team Racing I've been getting into lately.
Oh, Crash Team Racing. You could talk about Crash Team Racing forever. My friend Ben do the same thing with Borderlands. That's something we've always played together.
Do what?
The Borderlands is something that I play with one of my old friends as well. That sort of keeps us connected over the years.
Yeah, it's really good to have those games you can do that with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just end up playing, stuff on your own that's awesome, like God of War and Shadow of the Colossus.
Ugh, who has time for that, right?
Right? Ridiculous.
Shoot and loot forever. Quite insane. Which Borderlands are your favourite?
Which Borderlands?
Yeah.
Well, you go first. You go first, Ben.
I mean, I love the first one. That has a real sort of special place in my heart. Borderlands 2, of course, amazing. I love Tales from the Borderlands. I think it's probably Borderlands 2. It's got to be Borderlands 2 is my favourite. But I like all of them. It's like choosing, I mean, more so for you than me, but it's like choosing between children, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a little split on it. I'm very split on it. Pre-sequel holds a place in my heart because that's the first full game that I was producer on, and I was really, cut my teeth on it, and it was an amazing experience. It was tough, but it was. I'm really proud of that game.
Yeah.
But I kind of lean towards Tales from Borderlands because it's the only Borderlands game that I've gone through without playing it during production.
Oh, really?
So, like, I was on the fringes of that one. I got to sit in on some voice sessions with Patrick Warburton on Skype, which was amazing. It's incredible to hear his transformation from his, it's like, oh, that's Patrick Warburton, and then he clicks it on for the actual acting section.
Does he? Did you speak to him at all, or were you just sort of sitting in?
Just kind of sitting in the background.
Because he is fantastic. I really like him.
Yeah, I mean, Kronk in Emperor's New Groove is one of the best characters ever.
Even Joe in Family Guy, just so good. God, there's a lot of enemies here, a lot of concentration on the shooting now. How are you getting on?
God.
You say you don't use is it Krieg? That's his name, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really use Krieg, but I wanted to have him here since you were playing Maya, because, Krieg's
two Mayas. That'd be insane.
Oh, 2 Mayas?
2 Mayas would be unstoppable. There we go. Oh, you're up. Oh my goodness.
Oh god, this is bad. Are you going down at all?
No, not really. I think you're just pulling every single bit of aggro. Oh my god. What is happening?
I'm also shooting rockets at my feet, so it's partially my fault.
I'll
never claim that I'm actually good at this game. I don't play for min-max. I play for fun.
Right.
Like when I go Gunzerker, I go full fire rate, even though I hear people yell at me for that's not the best way to play. I was like, it's the best way for me.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, and I don't mean to boast, but I am a professional gamer. So
I have heard that.
Yeah, so it's like
Legends of Rocket League.
It would be unseemly for me to start going down all over the place, which I am actually starting to do a lot now. But fortunately, I've got these amazing new weapons because you're able to give me. Are you able to talk about that feature that you have access to?
Why not? It's been 7 years.
It was really exciting to experience yesterday.
Yeah, but they give devs access to some cheat codes outside of the game. We can't give them to anybody else, but I can spawn weapons and level up and do those type of things just with a few clicks of some buttons. But we don't let those go wide because they're not tested very well, and they will break the game if you use them wrong.
Patrick came into my game yesterday and just vomited about 70 top tier weapons onto the floor, and then I scavenged through it like some sort of weapon rat looking for something shiny, just to make sure that we were doing okay, because we're playing on, this is technically New Game Plus 2, right? Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. So it's a bit tougher than usual. So we wanted to be in the best position to do that. Let's see here. Patrick, would you ever put a Ben Potter Easter egg into a game?
I mean, if I had the choice, probably. If I could, convince one of the level designers to do that. Not sure what that would be though.
Just my face.
Beard on somebody.
Just my face somewhere in the level.
Just in the sun, looking down at one of the new planets.
Yeah, a bit like the Teletubbies. Can I just be the sun? That would be fantastic.
Precisely.
Yeah. Alex, your friend Alex Price. I watch a fair few of Ben's streams after the fact, but I saw you were going to be on, and I just had to stop and try to get you to sing. Back to work. Take it easy, fellas. Sing.
Hey, I don't know. I used to dance and sing when we were working at GameStop when I was bored.
Nice. Anything in particular that you would sing?
Well, me and my buddy Matt, we'd have the Rock Band set up over there, and
okay.
It would just kind of loop through different songs, so we'd sing along to some. But we would literally, when Billy Idol's White Wedding would come on, we'd stop whatever we were doing, if we were helping the customer or whatever, and we'd have Billy Idol dance parties.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Billy Idol dance parties.
When you're working in retail, you got to kill the time somehow.
Oh, no, absolutely. I totally get that. I think most people watching either are or have at some point been through that kind of thing. I used to take bags of sweets off the shelf and accidentally rip them and then take them back into sort of my secret lair and just eat them because they were broken. So, oh dear, we can't sell those anymore.
Well, we have to throw them away now.
Well, exactly. When it was Easter, sometimes I would because I used to work delivery shifts at 5 a.m. sometimes, and do night shifts and stuff. And occasionally with the Easter eggs, I'd go, ugh, and I would just punch them. I don't know why. There was just something really satisfying about punching an Easter egg. Not a full swing, but I would just smack it really hard, and it would shatter. And oh no, now this delicious, really expensive Easter egg has got to be wasted because we can't sell that, and I would just eat it because no shame apparently, absolutely no shame at all.
Yeah, there was one time we were selling Yoo-Hoo for some reason, which it hurts my brain that still exists, but we got a 24 Yoo-Hoo. It's like chocolate milk, but if you made it with water.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, it's a thing, and it exists.
Right.
But, there was one that came in that just one of them opened, so there's chocolate water all over the inside. So so we couldn't sell that. So I got to take home 23 chocolate waters.
Oh, see, chocolate water just does not sound like a fun thing for anyone.
I think the official line for it is Yoo-Hoo chocolate flavored drink, or it's worded in a way that's very clear. They legally can't say certain things.
Yeah, it sounds a bit suspect to me. I don't know if I'd trust that.
Yeah.
What exactly do producers do for video games? Asks the Tick cartoon.
That's a valid question. Mostly, my job consists of setting up the schedules, working with the budgets to make sure we're within budget, make sure people know when we're locking things down, when we need to have the layout for a map locked or art locked, and communicating between teams, finding out hey, why isn't this done, or what do you need in order to get this done, and make sure that all the tasks are in to inform people of what needs to be done so they can do it.
So you're Mr. Manager.
Yeah, essentially. I'm not making any design decisions. In fact, that's one thing that I had to learn early on. I may have not my ideas aren't invalid or anything, but it's a matter of my goal is not to make design decisions, but empower others to make design decisions and help steer them towards knowing what kind of impact adding this feature might have. because we don't want to, at the last minute we can't add in a new character or something, because that would blow us way past any deadlines and force us into crunch.
Right, and you're the person who would know best because you're keeping an eye on every department.
Right.
And knowing what everyone's working on.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a failure whenever any of my guys have to crunch, which I'd love to say that's never happened, but it absolutely has.
Yeah.
And that's my goal always, is make sure, try to make sure we're making a quality product, but there's so many people, the designers are so passionate about that. I don't worry about that too much. What I really care about is making sure our guys are working 40 hours a week and keeping it limited to a reasonable amount of time.
Absolutely, that sounds like the best way to do it. I'm sure you've been on the other end of that as well, right?
Oh yeah, I mean pre-sequel's one of those. There was tons of crunch on that. I had multiple 80-hour weeks. I was there till 4 in the morning. I've if my guys are pulling crunch, I'm also pulling crunch. I'm not going home.
Yeah. What do you think of I mean, I don't know how comfortable you are discussing this kind of stuff. We're not talking about Gearbox in particular, but certainly some of the horror stories that have been coming out this year from various studios. Have you experienced some of that at its worst yourself, or would it never get that bad if you, in your experience?
The one thing I'll say this about Gearbox that I'm really happy with in general. This doesn't always ring true, but for the most part, I haven't really worked in much mandatory crunch. It's usually self-inflicted, so it sucks in that regard. Like, it's generally like, hey, we've committed to this amount of work and we have to do it, figure it out, and provide dinner and those type of things. And we've definitely we got some lessons learned from Borderlands 3. We've gone beyond 40 hours, plenty, on Borderlands 3. And some departments in general have been understaffed, and we need to correct that. But I think overall as a company, we've been improving, and we hope to, like, as we move forward with our next game, whatever that ends up being, that we're actively making sure we aren't going absurd with it. I mean, we're going to pull some overtime. There's no way we can really avoid that, but we don't want people sleeping here. We don't want people working themselves to the bone. You see burnout in this industry all the time, where people are just like, I'm done, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. And
it sucks. It sucks to see, because you see a lot of talented people just not need to spend time with the family, and it's totally understandable.
Yeah, for sure. Changing pace ever so slightly now, Russ asks, hey Patrick, is the poor soul who had to make the gun designs and variants gone officially insane yet? That's the largest workload in the world, surely.
Yes, but he's been insane for a while, so that's all right.
If you hire an insane guy, then
Yeah, that's how you get this type of games. You hire absolutely insane people. But yeah, I mean, what we did with Borderlands 3, Borderlands 1 set the record for most guns in a game. Borderlands 2 actually had less guns, but we had more variety in guns.
Right.
With all the manufacturers having unique aspects to them. And Borderlands 3, we just expanded upon that. The way we actually build the guns is we build parts. We build individual guns for legendaries, but I think there are 5 or 6 parts, barrel, body, grip, scope, all those type of things, as well as various attachments you can add on.
Mm-hmm.
And they build these things so they can just snap onto each other, almost like a Lego set.
Right.
And have variable stats and create variable guns. Like there will always be guns that I come across that I'm surprised by, even after playing this game for hours and hours and hours. Yeah. Because it just have something new that we generated, not handmade, but through the system that we created.
Was there ever a plan to potentially let players use that by potentially like breaking down their favorite weapon? I know there was sort of the randomizer, I can't remember what it was called now, in the pre-sequel, where you could chuck loads of weapons into a machine and something else would pop out. But like, was there ever discussion maybe about letting people take apart weapons and building their own variants?
Yeah, absolutely. We discussed that, and really where we ended up landing with that is it's actually more problematic to do that, not from a functionality standpoint, but it hurts the gameplay loop. If you're able to decide what you get, you end up going with kind of the same thing every time. You focus towards one gun, and that's not what Borderlands is about. we want you changing up your play style. We want you exploring with new ways to play and finding new things to do. And the more control we give players over what they can use, then they're going to use what they know.
Yeah.
And they're not going to see all of this wonderful ridiculousness that is around. Like, I don't know if I would have used Hyperion weapons in Borderlands 2 if I could have chosen to just stick with Vladoff all the time. But once I started seeing how those can work and how they can be just fantastic, Hyperion became my manufacturer.
Yeah, I think Hyperion was always my favourite as well. Just for the, that ridiculous shotgun I've got at the moment that I've been using most of the game so far. This one. It's just, what other shotgun behaves like that? I don't know. It's just, after I used one that got more, I think its perk of getting more accurate as you fire it. Any shotgun that only had 2 shells, after that just felt second best. I think that's the beauty of the different manufacturers.
Yeah.
People always find their favorites.
Yeah, and not only people find their favorites, it's also led us to focus more on the manufacturers as kind of the core of the Borderlands world. It's the characters and the manufacturers drive so much about it, and so much about the worlds and the cities and everything about the environment.
Now we've got another question here. The chat's betraying me, and it keeps just disappearing every time I scroll down. How did you come across TripleJump? I think you knew us from Vidiots last year, right?
Yeah, actually, I first saw you guys on Name Redacted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Name Redundant, yeah.
My name is Vaughn.
I think it was the first time I was like, these guys are fucking amazing. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't.
It's fine.
Cuss.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Everybody gets one. Right. You do it again, yeah. We jettison you into the sun, though. So fair warning.
Was a Loot Crate opening with Adam Blampier.
Oh God, yeah.
And those just absolutely killed me. And so when you guys disappeared, I was like, what happened? I just kind of kept my eyes open. And it was actually at a time I had left Gearbox for another company. It was kind of honestly, I was going through some stuff, and seeing you guys kind of leave Name Redacted and go through what you went through with Vidiots was kind of encouraging me. Like you're chasing that dream, and I loved Vidiots. I loved I love the rules boss is back, and you got a new episode tomorrow. Do a quick plug for you there.
Yeah.
But it was really encouraging to me, and it helped me kind of get my head together, honestly.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that, man. And that we've only sort of been in contact with one another properly this year so far, but you've already done so much for us. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm happy to help in any way I can.
So there's going to be you're going to get a new tattoo soon with the rules boss hat on you.
Of course.
Do you want to tell the story of your tattoos? Because that's quite an interesting one as well, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go through most of them, but basically I get a tattoo for every game that I work on. And it started. My first tattoo was actually before I got in the game industry. It's just a smiley face on my bicep, and it's that was a commitment to make games. Something I just really always wanted to do. Even before I knew I wanted to do it, because I think growing up I didn't even realize. I was looking at video games. It was just like, this is something that's not even a career path, and I was like, wait, no, people make this. I could do this.
Yeah.
Then I kind of dug into it. But I get one for every single game that I work on, and I've tried to interlock them and kind of keep them within a relatively normal color palette, being reds and yellows. But my most recent one is a chibi version of Lilith and Claptrap, actually designed by one of our FX artists in the studio, Sung Kim. He is incredibly talented. He did chibi versions of all our characters from Battleborn, and I got one of those on my arm, as well as most of our characters from Borderlands 3. And so I was really excited to get that on my arm. I have the outline done. I'm actually getting it filled in with color later on today.
Amazing.
But he's just a shout out to Sung Kim. He's an incredible artist, and he actually worked at Disney, did some stuff with Lilo and Stitch and Pocahontas, which I always kind of gush about because you gotta love Disney animators, right?
Of course, yeah. No, you've got to. Oh, that's amazing. Patrick, what do you think are the biggest positives and negatives of the gaming industry today? Big question.
Whew. That's a good question. The way I think one of the biggest negatives is the way microtransactions are used. Mm-hmm. I think microtransactions in general came from a good place. I remember when they started emerging, I was looking around the industry, and there was this problem with DLC where you'd have a player base just splinter as soon as DLC came around. There'd be new map packs and these type of things, and you can't create new content without having some way to fund it. So, game companies were looking for ways to fund new content without splintering the player base into people who bought the base game and people who bought the DLC. So microtransactions kind of formed from that as a solution. Mm-hmm. And at a high level, I'm okay with some level of microtransaction to fund something, but the way they're being used to just gouge and just pull money out of people is really problematic. Yeah. And with the structure of Borderlands, we're in a great place because our DLC doesn't splinter the player base. People can still play online with each other while owning the DLC, and it works great. And so we don't need to worry about that too much. So we have the advantage of we can do a standard season pass that is essentially an expansion. When you get down to it, we really focus on making like our when all the DLC is out there, it's basically you're getting twice the game. Alongside that, we're also going to be, for Borderlands 3 specifically, we're also going to be adding in free updates that are not just like, here's this little bit. These are full maps, new content, really cool stuff. That's actually what I'm focusing on right now, is getting some of that free stuff out there before the end of the year, which we announced last week at PAX. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's one of the biggest problems is how microtransactions are being used, and just loot boxes in general are just blah.
Yeah,
they're gross.
They're pretty gross. What about the positives though? What do you really like at the moment? What's something the industry's doing that you really think is good stuff?
I absolutely adore the indie scene and how much ingenuity and innovation is happening there, and it really helps to feed new content in the AAA scene. AAA, you don't generally have the freedom to innovate in huge ways, not because people aren't willing to do it. It's a lot harder with a 300-400 person team to get everybody on the same page with a new idea. Whereas if you have that basis in some indie game that's done this really well, and you can see that and expand on it, it's a lot easier to communicate and grow from that than it is to create something entirely new within a 400 person team.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's the sort of the wheels are slower to turn with so many people involved, and you've also got corporate overheads and things like that, and shareholders and things. Makes it a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, and there's always, you have funding that's in the millions and millions of dollars. Taking risks is always it's harder to sell. You got to have a really good pitch to take risks. And luckily with Borderlands 1, we had a really good pitch, and so we were able to do some new things there.
As a producer, what's your proudest moment?
Whew. Proudest moment. Honestly, I'd say it's this DLC. This was a weird one. Being the fact that this is essentially pure fan service. We got to do something that was. Our team at Gearbox is very protective of Borderlands, and Gearbox Quebec are the guys who actually made this, and having guys own a DLC that haven't really made or released Borderlands content before, they are actively working on Borderlands 3, is scary for guys who own and love this franchise, and allowing them to have the freedom to really go nuts with it and do basically whatever they wanted within the structure of the story was really rewarding, and I am incredibly proud of this DLC. This is it's a little smaller than other ones, but it's also more story focused. We since since it's free, we knew we didn't have to really hit any specific time marker for playthroughs or things like that, which again, it allowed us the freedom to go like, all right, here's the story we want to tell. We can make cuts based purely on story and not have to pad it out with extra content to make sure it hits some marker or some arbitrary number. And since it was going to be free for a month. And then we added on to that with, you know, the level cap increase, new OP levels, raid boss, all of these things to make sure it felt significant, as well as it has actually a significant number of side missions. It's still bigger than a couple of our Borderlands 2 DLCs. But relieving that stress of trying to hit a certain marker for content really allows for some good freedom there.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely loved this DLC. I was honestly completely blown away by it. I was not that I wasn't expecting much, but you know, it's a free piece of DLC. It's you know, over half a decade since the game came out, and it's just astonishingly good value for money. It's amazing. It's just really well put together, and also ties the ends of what was explored in Tales from the Borderlands into the beginning of Borderlands 3. And I love Tales from the Borderlands. In fact, I need to know on what sort of, I know you sat in on the Patrick Warburton voiceover, but like, were you involved beyond that? What level sort of was Gearbox in with Telltale on that production?
That was me and James Lopez were the producers on Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and kind of the producers of Borderlands in general at that time. And so we started kind of expanding out. That's when we started doing the Handsome Collection, which I ran with, and then Tales from Borderlands, which James ran with. And we were both kind of on the fringes of each other's projects in that regard. So that started with, I believe, us reaching out to Telltale and talking to them, because at that point they hadn't done anything funny in a while, right. But they'd made some really funny stuff in the past, and it was kind of weird. They were so known for Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us, which are very, very serious, very dry games. They're amazing, but we thought like, hey, our style that already exists lines up to some degree with the art style that we have. And at that point, Anthony Birch had left Gearbox, so he was
the
out
writer of 2, right? And
yeah, he's the writer of 2. Yeah, he was the writer of 2 and half the writing team, or part of the writing team of pre-sequel. And he was out in LA, and he was near the Telltale guys, so we were able to kind of link them up with Anthony to have that great knowledge base of Borderlands there with them, and work with Telltale to pump these out. Telltale it was a crazy process, because we'd be going through asking for builds, and they'd send them to us, and then we're like, all right, this is good, cool, and we're releasing in 2 weeks. It's like, holy cow. It was just kind of out of nowhere. Like, it seemed very fly by the seat of your pants, but they always produced good content.
Yeah,
we were really happy with what they made there, but it was also at times pretty stressful.
I can imagine. Were you saddened by their closure? What do you think of them coming back recently, albeit in a slightly different form?
Oh, that's exciting. I really like Telltale. I like most of the games, or I like all of the games that I've played from them. Batman, Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead. I mean, I'm very partial to Tales from Borderlands. I really think that they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Again, because it's one of the only comedy games they've made in ages. And I'm very excited to have them back in whatever form they can take. I just hope they can get it where they're, you know, a bit smarter on the business side. We have one of the writers who worked on some of the Telltale stuff, worked on Borderlands 3, and so he's been incredibly valuable there, because he's just great experience working with Telltale and just writing constantly.
That's awesome. So this next question, I'm hoping you understand what it's referring to. It's a Death Stranding question.
Talking about piss mushrooms?
As a game insider, are piss mushrooms the future of gaming?
I mean, yeah.
If Kojima says so, right?
Yeah, I mean, Kojima says so. He is God of gaming. So, All of our DLCs and every bit of new content for Borderlands 3 will be centered around fist mushrooms.
Excellent. That's confirmed. That's an exclusive. You heard it here first. Do you ever get sick of Borderlands? Russ asks, I wonder if people who work on games sometimes just get really sick of the game afterwards.
Eventually I do, at times, but I always end up coming back to it. I recently calculated how many hours I've spent in Borderlands 2, just Borderlands 2 specifically, and it is a minimum of 4,500. And that's, yeah, it's a bit absurd. So, but even when Borderlands 2 came out, I played it for 3-4 months solid before I kind of stopped for a while. And I focused on other things. But when we came back to pre-sequel, I played it again. Hell, when Borderlands 3 started coming up, my friends were bugging me to play it with them, and I jumped back in, and I loved it. And it's something I can always come back to. We hit some absolute magic with this game, where it feels like I can just always come back to it, and it's an absolute blast. And there's so much new that I can explore with it. Like I never played with Krieg, and I get to play with Krieg right now, and I'm bad at it, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah, no, me too. I always play as a Siren usually, but I think that's why I enjoyed the pre-sequel, was just an opportunity to play as just a completely different character, completely different style of play, really. And that's the beauty of Borderlands for me, is that I played a lot of Borderlands this year, but I can take a break for you can take a break for years at a time and then come back and just it all feels new again. You can just do the whole thing again, and it doesn't feel repetitive, because there's just so many different play styles and a billion different guns.
Yeah, you'll never start the game the same way.
No,
so you're always getting new stuff right from the get-go. Although skipping the first little bit, getting to your action skill is definitely helpful.
Yes.
That was something Randy Pitchford actually just came in one day. He was like, "Hey, we want to jump people straight into the new DLC. How can we do that? Can we jump people straight to a high-level character from the beginning?" I was like, "Maybe." And that's kind of where that idea came from. And so we dug into it and figured out how to do that, and landed on where we landed. Of just basically we created 6 characters and planted the saves into the game, and so you can create them over and over and over again. We discussed making it like a one-time thing, you get a token for it or something like that. But it's like, why do that? Just let people jump in. This game is 7 years old. Why would we block people from jumping to the game if they really want to?
It's nice. It's a nice relaxed sort of take on it all, because most companies would just charge for that DLC anyway, right. Full stop. But if you wanted to get, what level was the character? Is it level 30?
Yeah, level 30.
I mean, any company either would have charged for the DLC or just said, "Hey, $5.99, buy yourself a level 30 character." It's like, but it was all free. It was all included, and I think that that's what I've always appreciated about Gearbox and Borderlands in particular. It's just that attitude.
Yeah,
so refreshing.
I mean, as with any business, those things are always discussed. Like, I'd love to say we never even considered it, but we'll always consider any option there. But we look at it and we go, this isn't the right way to treat our players, and we're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's good. It's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
It's Alex again. My younger brother is set to graduate in the next handful of years and is majoring in game design, and I worry about him because he's a dope. Any advice I can pass on?
Be a producer.
There you go.
I mean, realistically, if for people that want to get into game design, getting in as a tester is a good way to learn. I wouldn't bank on moving from tester to production or design, as that path can be difficult, especially if you're trying to do it within the same company. Mm-hmm. I'm a rare exception to that. But it's a great way to learn kind of how production of games goes. Testers get the best view of the entire game.
Right.
You know that. So. You tested.
Yeah, I tested a little bit. I didn't test Adam, feel free to just walk through. It's okay. Adam's here. He's desperately trying to squeeze behind the TV and make no noise, but I can see it going so wrong. Patrick says hello.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah, God, no, totally threw off my chain of thought there. It's fine. Is it worth it, what you're going to get?
Yeah, huge wrestling news.
Is it?
John Cena's been fired.
No, he hasn't.
No, I made that up.
Oh, come on. Why would you do that?
But did he turn heel? Because
I think one's just as unlikely as the other, to be honest.
Right, at this point, I don't even want to see a heel turn.
Yeah, I did testing only for 6 months, but as someone who's been on the journalism side for my entire quote-unquote career, it was so fascinating to get an insight into that side of things. It just really makes you appreciate what a machine game development is and how many different parts have to come together, and the importance of producers in tying all of those different departments together to make a final product at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean that's the core of my job, is ship it. That's my goal.
Yeah.
And to me, there always has to be kind of three aspects. There's three differing views within a company, and you have to balance those. And that is quality of the game for the designers to drive, shipping the product for the producers to drive, and then making money off the product for the business people to decide. Mm-hmm. And I think we've hit a pretty good balance there. Because Borderlands 3, I remember when Borderlands 3 was announced and people started, having theories about, are we doing this thing that everyone hates right now with looter shooters? Are we doing this thing and everything? And all of these theories would come up, and I just kind of looked at them going, we're doing none of that. So cool. People are going to love this.
Yeah, completely out of nowhere. I think the thing I'm so excited for in Borderlands 3 is the new Sanctuary. It's Sanctuary 3, isn't it? Is that what it's called in this one? Yeah, the sort of hub ship. Because there was always a very, and I'm sure you guys seem to have gone above and beyond with this one to make it as dynamic and interesting as possible. But even in the limited capacity that the Normandy existed in Mass Effect 2, there was always a very sort of nerdy part of me that loved just going to every single floor on the Normandy after every mission and talking to everybody and just seeing what was going on. So I love that inclusion. I think that's such a nice change.
Yeah, we have some really cool interaction with not only ship but the people on it and all those things. I don't want to spoil anything there, but it's really cool. Really happy with where that is. It's hard to make it's sometimes hard to make a hub ship or a hub of any type.
Yeah,
useful to go back to. A lot of times you'll see games like a hub area where you aren't ever going back there, and so you just kind of forget about it. But Mass Effect hit that really well, where you're always coming back, and I think that just the structure of our game lends itself to drive people back to Sanctuary and have them explore that over and over again, and have a good place to do that. Doing things that shouldn't necessarily be in menus. I think that's also another mistake with hubs. Is they should just be in a menu. Why can't I just do this in a menu?
I got that a lot with Wolfenstein 2 and Wolfenstein Youngblood, the latest one. There's a lot of just running around these empty, vacant areas where you're right, it should have just been a menu. But if it's done right, it's done right. I think Mass Effect did it right, and it seems that Borderlands 3 has absolutely done it right as well, and I am so excited to play it. As we were discussing yesterday, I'm so annoyed that I can't play it on release because I have a family thing that weekend, so I have to go out of town, and I've booked off the Monday instead so I can play it then. But I'm so gutted because I want to jump into it immediately.
I'm sorry. I wish I could help you out. Just get one of those things the wrestlers have with the TV and the PS4 inside of a bag.
Yeah, sorry everyone. I've got to go play Borderlands in the cupboard. I keep going to the bathroom. What's he doing? I don't know. Coco asks, what made you go with numbers coming out of the enemies? I suppose more the visual style of how it's all come together.
I came from Borderlands 1. I wasn't actually at the company for Borderlands 1, but just purely from a design standpoint, it really helps for clarity that you're actually achieving something. The gameplay is so chaotic of Borderlands, it's really necessary to have that feedback so you can actually understand that you're succeeding. And also helps communicate all of the resistances and various damage types that we have within the game with the varying colors and words that can pop up.
Yeah. I think that's what That's what really made Borderlands 1 stand out to me, you know, a decade ago. Was just, it looks different, you know? It's got a very distinct visual style.
Yeah, that change was crazy and at the last minute. The fact that those guys pulled it off, it was bold to go for it, but it was quite obviously the right move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. We actually covered it, cheap plug, in our 10 things you didn't know about Borderlands video. Many of the things were learned from the first stream we did with yourself and Mike Newman, and written by our wonderful writer James. And so if you want to know more about that, it's covered in that video. Not you, Patrick. I know you know about it, but people watching.
Hey, sometimes they need a refresher.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there, but we did our best to cover it. You're just getting vomited on by this guy as soon as you stand up.
I get up and immediately get knocked down. I feel like Chumbawamba.
Rust asks, Patrick, how challenging is it to make such a familiar world stay fresh and interesting, avoiding becoming stale? In Borderlands 3, we see new worlds. Is that a tactic to step away from the norm?
Yeah, to some degree. A big part of that was, the end of Borderlands 2, we heavily leaned towards going to other planets, so it felt like if we didn't go to other planets, then we would totally be missing out on a promise that we made. But also we wanted to explore what other planets looked like. We'd mentioned other planets in various DLCs and games. Mm-hmm. And it does allow kind of a freeing up of going, okay, we know what Pandora is to some degree. Let's see what Eden 6 is. Let's get a different team that is also familiar with Borderlands to kind of run with this, to allow their own style to come through. And it's really cool. It's just, I love the new planets. Being on Pandora at the beginning of Borderlands 3 is great. It gets you kind of back into that groove, and then once you get off planet and start seeing the other places, it's like, all right, here we go. Mm-hmm. This is exciting.
Amazing. I don't know if you're in a position to answer this, but Joe Nosif asks, how are Gearbox managing diversity in their employees and in Borderlands 3?
Well, I don't have a amazing answer for that. We have a really diverse staff. Honestly, there's something with the game industry of kind of the older crew, the more experienced people are a general group, but we've been making sure to hire the younger, more experienced at a kind of internship level and grow them. Mm-hmm. The Borderlands 2 VR initiative was something that came from us hiring a group of, I want to say 13 people outside of the SMU Guild Hall to come in and make some games just on a pure internship basis and see if we wanted to keep them.
Okay.
And we kept most of them. I want to say we kept those guys stayed on board, and it helped us to grow that. And they went on to make a Penn and Teller VR game, which just released, which is super weird.
Oh yes, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's basically, to call it a game is kind of a stretch. It's basically just a way to mess with your friends. And have those guys kind of cut their teeth on Borderlands 2 VR was a great way for this small, inexperienced team to get integrated and understand the game. But I guess the short answer is we're trying to hire a bit younger. Mm-hmm. As well, because generally the experienced people in gaming have come from a certain demographic, because that was the demographic of gaming for a long time, was just guys.
Yeah.
But that has changed, and with that comes more change to our industry. And we also set up meetings, especially with our narrative group, with people of different groups to make sure if we have a character of that ilk that they are being spoken to not from, the standard white male perspective of mm-hmm. thinking how they want to portray that, but actually talking to those people who have experienced that to make sure we're doing it as accurate as we can and as sensibly as we can.
Brilliant. A little bit easier for you now, perhaps. What are your favorite Easter eggs in Borderlands? Because Lord knows there's a lot.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. My game broke for a second. All right.
Oh.
My favorite one in Borderlands 2 is quite easily the Lord of the Rings Easter egg.
Yeah.
Which is... this is fun.
Yeah, I know that one.
Do what?
I think I know that one. That's a tough one to get, isn't it?
It is. That's one that Zach Ford, one of our level designers, made, who is the lead designer on Borderlands pre-sequel as well. He made it with a few other people. I'm sure I'm not mentioning them and I feel bad. But basically, and we watched a message board on the first week of release of Borderlands 2 of people trying to figure this Easter egg out and how to do it, which was hilarious. But basically, you start on playthrough 2 after you've made it to the Iridium Blight, and you go back to Claptrap's place, and you'll find a ring within Claptrap's furnace in the fire. And so you have to pick it up and put it in your inventory. It doesn't show up in your inventory, you don't see it in there, but the game knows you have it. And then you have to travel on foot all the way to the Iridium Blight, climb up the volcano, and then Geary, a bandit, or a rat character, runs up, steals the ring from you, and jumps into the fire. And then 3 racks fly by and drop big treasure chests for you to loot.
I've only seen it in videos, but it's an astonishing level to detail for something that's so difficult to find.
Yeah.
But that's basically Borderlands in a nutshell, isn't it? It's just an incredible attention to detail for people who want to look for it.
Yeah, we always that's a big part of what we do is we love Easter eggs, and Easter eggs can be absolutely infuriating for a producer because so often, and you see this with the Lord of the Rings one, we can't say Lord of the Rings anywhere in the game, or we can't, we couldn't call Geary Gollum.
No.
Can't do any of that. So oftentimes people will put stuff in and they'll just use whatever they think is funny or works or whatever, or they'll use whatever art they can make, and it ends up being too close to something copywritten. Yeah. So we have to make sure, like, hey, tell us about these, and we're happy to get them in and get them working. But you need to tell us, because when they don't, and we find it, a week before release, we don't have time to fix it. We just have to cut it, right. And that's the worst. We absolutely hate doing that. Like one example is in this DLC, there's a waffle box that's a reference to 11 from Stranger Things.
Okay.
And the first version of that was actually, it wasn't a problem for Stranger Things, but it was a problem for Ego.
Right.
And so it's it was very, very close to the standard yellow Ego box, so we had to change that up.
Mm-hmm. I can
use some new branding. But again, we those guys were really great about it, and they made sure to post up all the images early on, and we were able to come back with feedback to make sure we don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing with the legal team. Often it's usually not, at least in my experience with working with legal teams, it's not that they're trying to set it up so that if we do get sued, we will win it. It's going further than that and trying to prevent us from getting sued in any way.
Right.
Because, even if we think we'd win with some Easter egg or something and it's perfectly within legal rights, we don't want to go through that process.
No.
It's obnoxious and nobody wants to do that. So
as long as you're upfront about it, you can put an Easter egg of pretty much any kind into a Borderlands game.
Pretty much. Yeah, there's always a way to figure that out. Usually, it's really when you get into it really often comes down to naming and art. Like if you've named something with something that's directly pulled from something else, just change it. Yeah. And if the art is if the image is too close or using the same font as something else, use a different font, and it's fine.
Will there be any reference to Handsome Jack in the future going forwards? The way the main campaign for Borderlands 2 wraps up, plus AI Jack and Tales from the Borderlands, be interesting to see. I know you couldn't possibly comment because either way would be a spoiler, wouldn't it, for Borderlands 3?
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about anything that has potential spoilers.
Was it then I'll ask you a question about Handsome Jack then. Was it appreciated at the time in the studio just how sort of the lightning you managed to capture in a bottle with Handsome Jack in terms of being a compelling video game baddie?
I think it was kind of a moment, which, at least for me, and I think also for Anthony Birch, which kind of annoys him because he didn't write this line, and he's spoken about that before.
Yeah.
But Damian Clark, when he's in the what's it called? In the recording booth. Mm-hmm. He just ad-libbed the line while he was talking about Butt Stallion.
Yes.
These pretzels suck. And that was kind of that moment when I heard that. I was like, that's who this character is. This is perfect. Like he's such a charming dick, and it's fantastic. You don't like him, but you're drawn to him.
Right.
But yeah, it was when that line was implemented, which is about, I don't know, 8 months before launch, that it was just like, this villain is great. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, we have something really special here. Of course, you never know until a game launches.
Were you surprised by the reaction, or were you all thinking, yeah, this is about right?
Do what?
Were you surprised by the reaction from the community, or did you think it was you were sort of expecting that level of adoration?
I wouldn't say we were expecting it. We were hoping for it. We believed we had made something good enough for it, but we were very scared. It's honestly, I'm more scared of games that I'm confident in when they launch than games that I'm skeptical of. Right. Because if I'm confident, then I can be let down even further. Like Borderlands 3, I'm a little scared right now because to me it's the absolute greatest game I've worked on, hands down. I hope you guys feel the same.
I'm sure I will. There's not much you could do to disappoint me. I'm ready. I'm so ready. But it looks amazing. It looks absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, we're all extremely proud of it.
And also just a huge, I know we waited a long time for it to even be announced, but like just huge major kudos for announcing it and releasing it in the same year without a delay. Like that is just, I can't tell you how much as a big fan of Borderlands I appreciate that. Sort of not extending our wait for it any longer than you had to.
Yeah, that was something we were very, very adamant about with everybody. Was all right. We do not. We wait to announce this until we know we can hit our dates. Until we absolutely know we have a high quality game people are going to love, and we can ship it in the time that we say. We do not do this in delay. So we waited on an announce. We discussed announcing a year out. We discussed announcing a year and a half out. But it came down to like, well, there's a lot that can change in that time. So let's not do that. And let's hit hard with announcing Borderlands 3 and then just pump out new things all the time. Like obviously Borderlands Game of the Year edition. We had Borderlands 2 4K. We had this new DLC. We had all the DLC coming to Borderlands 2 VR. We had the VIP program launch for Borderlands 3. We had new content just going out constantly, basically since announced, because we wanted to have this hit and also have people just like never forget about us for a moment.
Yeah, I was going to say it's clever. You guys have dominated the majority of this year with various Borderlands news.
Yep.
Does Randy Pitchford do magic in the office? And is it often?
A lot of times when he's wandering around, he'll just have a Rubik's Cube in his hand, and he'll always have a deck of cards on him.
Right.
So he doesn't really do magic in the office, but he does. I mean, he does love to do magic. He'll mess with cards in his hand, and so he'll just kind of mess with the Rubik's Cube and just always be solving it and resolving it and undoing it. He's actually a very, very good magician. I know he gets some flack for that kind of stuff, but he's I think significantly better than he's often given credit for, because sometimes he can put his foot in his mouth. But that's also, if you're on social media and you're a figure of any significance, that's going to happen. to some degree. But I really, actually, I like working with the guy.
Yeah.
He cares about first off our team being solid in that regard, us always having work to do so that we aren't doing some big layoff at the end of a project, which some companies still do.
Yeah.
Which is infuriating. And that means, as soon as we ship a project, we're jumping straight onto DLC, we're jumping straight onto something else, which can be exhausting at times. We have to manage that and make sure people can take time off. But he cares about that, and the way he cares about that is pushing for high quality games. He really does care about the quality of game that we release. Now, that's great to have in somebody at the top.
Yeah. Ben Cooper asks, I was watching Boundary Break looking at Borderlands and was curious how devs feel about someone being able to pick apart their work and reveal their tricks and sometimes mistakes. Is it fun, frustrating, etc.?
I think that's fun. I absolutely love that. And Borderlands is built out of, to some degree, mistakes and randomness. We love having those little mistakes in there, and we kind of try to embrace them as much as we can. The entire gun system is built around randomness, and understanding how that all works is really impressive. And we love seeing people care so much that they dive into that system.
We need to punch through that gate.
Yeah, I can. I don't know how I would feel if someone sort of started making videos picking apart my work, and I suppose it would be flattering in a way, right? I suppose.
Yeah.
that people care that much. We were talking yesterday briefly about how in the first game on PS3 you could copy your save file off, and I did this, and plug it into your computer, and there was a free piece of software called Willow Tree where you could manipulate your save data and randomly generate weapons and give yourself all the money and all the skill points in the world and set your level and all that kind of stuff. And out the back of it I created this ridiculous shield that means you just cannot die because it never goes down. And I imported that character into the PS4 version, and it still worked. That shield still worked. So I was able to continue using that shield in the PS4 version. And when I asked you about it yesterday, you gave quite an interesting answer about how you guys are just sort of, you're kind of all for that thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the big benefits, what always happens at the beginning of a Borderlands game, one of the discussions we always have is, hey, what about dueling? How do we make dueling fun? And what almost always ends up happening is dueling and any PvP modes fall by the wayside and are sacrificed at the altar of creating more fun in the main game. If we don't have to worry about balancing, Amara versus Flak in a battle, then we can do crazier and crazier things with our action skills and crazier and crazier things with the guns. And that makes the whole game more fun. So letting go of PvP aspects allows us to let go of trying to stop people from modding the game to those degrees where they can just create whatever they want. Because like, hey, if you want to go in there and dig into it and figure out those systems and make stuff, absolutely do it. There have been times where there have been bugs created from that hurt other players. Back when we launched Borderlands 2, people figured out a way to alter the game so that it was essentially hardcore mode, where if you die once, you lose your save.
Oh, God.
They want to do that to themselves, that's no problem. The problem is, if you joined an online match where somebody set that up, and you're in that game and you die, you lose your save, and you didn't even set that up. So that's something we had to address. It's one of those things we couldn't do anything about ahead of time. We were not going to test a feature that doesn't exist within the game, but somebody figures that out outside of the game, and we got to address it.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. That's a crazy exploit.
Yeah, it was a weird one. When it was first brought up, we were all just kind of like, cool, let them have fun. And then when we found out it was actually affecting people who weren't activating hardcore mode, it was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah. I suppose at the back of that then, is there a particular standout glitch or bug that that you remember, or is there an example of one that was just really bad, or one that was really weird, or what have you had?
That hardcore one was that's one that was really weird and bad. That one always sticks out to me. One that I love was in pre-sequel. There were these mechs that you fight inside of Helios Station, and one of the Helios Station maps, there were some small staircases, and for some reason, which we never really figured this out because we just decided not to, or if somebody did figure out, they never told me. When they boosted over these small staircases, they would like just tumble over themselves.
Right. And
it didn't happen when they walked over them. It didn't happen in any other situation, and it looked a little goofy, but also a little bit like showy. And so we just kind of went, "That's kind of fun. Let's keep it." It's kind of how we went in general with not fixing bugs. If a bug makes us laugh and doesn't hurt the player experience, we generally just go, "Yeah, let's keep it. Why not?"
It's a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
Some companies are just terrified of that. You know, the game has to be perfect.
If you get too focused on that, that's when you get like the big stuff slipping through because you're so focused on these small things that don't really matter. Now, there are some games, like if that was happening all the time in The Last of Us, then yeah, you should fix that. That game that breaks the tone. It doesn't break the tone with us.
I suppose tonally, Borderlands it can get away with a lot.
Yeah.
With stuff like that, like Tiny Tina's eye.
That's a great one. Yeah, her having the accidental wandering eye.
Yes, just make it part of the character. It's fine.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, fits the world. So you've spoken about Patrick Warburton. Do you have a favourite voice actor to work with?
Oh wow.
Or do you get time with the voice actors very often, or are you focused on other things?
I get a little time with them. I mean, I think one of our favorites in the studio, who I've actually never worked with her directly, but she's just highly regarded. We try to use her as often as possible. Is Colleen Clinkenbeard.
Oh, she's Lilith, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah. She does Lilith, and she's just fantastic. Like, great pro. We're based in Dallas, Texas, which you wouldn't think we have a great amount of voice talent, but Funimation is here, so we actually do have a fantastic amount of voice talent nearby. We pull almost exclusively from that. We have some exceptions to that. Damian Clark is based out of LA. Mm-hmm. Ashley Birch, when we hired her, was here in Dallas along with her brother, but she's out in LA now. So there are exceptions, but for the most part, we pull from Funimation and those guys, and there's an amazing amount of talent here and the great people to work with.
Ashley Birch has just gone from strength to strength, hasn't she?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
She's done.
Yeah, when we first brought her on, she was just Anthony's sister, and now she's Ashley effing Birch.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Speaking of which, Tiny Tina needs her own game where she goes through a rainbow world like Pyro from TF2, but eventually discovers reality. You think you can make that happen? We've had the D&D expansion.
Yeah, or I guess B&B, because bunkers and beds.
Sorry, yes, of course. I'm going back to that parody rule again.
We're always exploring weird ideas like that. I love the DLC world for games, especially with Borderlands, because it allows some more freedom. Like, we can take more risks there, and try some weirder things. Mm-hmm. Because if it doesn't work, it's just one of the DLCs. It's fine. It's got the base structure of Borderlands, so it's gonna be fun to some regard, even if the content isn't the best.
Yeah.
So we just have more freedom to be like, all right, this is cool. And that's also why I'm liking doing these free updates as well. Is, hey, these are free. We can again take more risks here. Like the Headhunter pack with for Thanksgiving, where Grandma Torg told you a story for 15 minutes, infuriated people, but we loved doing it. It was a big troll, but it was a really good time. And we couldn't do that in the main game, but allowing for those little Headhunter packs, the $3 Headhunter packs, allowed us for that freedom to just do some weird stuff that you wouldn't see in the main game. Mm-hmm.
do you have a standout favorite enemy?
Well, not stalkers. Not stalkers.
No.
Are you talking about like an enemy class or a specific like boss or something?
I suppose it could be either. Let's go with boss. Let's go with boss.
Okay. Oddly enough, part of this is how pre-sequel holds a special place in my heart. But the final boss of pre-sequel, I think, is an absolute blast. Mm-hmm. The start with the smaller version is fun, but then when he goes to just a massive creature that you have to fight and jump on platforms. I remember talking to a creature team about it, and they were talking about, I believe it was Robert Anderson who ran with that one for the most part, just going, wait, I can create a boss on just a flat plane? Like, yeah, just a flat plane, and you can do whatever. And that amount of freedom that allows to just like build animations that will just work on a flat plane allowed for just a lot of freedom for him to run around and create that boss, and I think it paid off wonderfully. I think it's a fantastic boss. I think Borderlands 3 has our best bosses we've ever created.
Okay, that's good.
Of the ones we've shown, Mouthpiece is probably my favorite from Borderlands 3.
Is he which one is Mouthpiece? Is that the dubstep sort of?
Yeah,
speakers and stuff.
Yeah, his attacks are synced to the sound, and the gun you get from it is really cool. It's a really cool fight, and he's a mini boss. He's not even a full-blown boss. Our vault bosses in this game are ridiculous.
I'm really looking forward to seeing some of them, I have to say. Oh, there's Brick.
Always good to see.
Gotta love Brick. I would say for me it was the moment that I wouldn't say it's my favourite boss because it's still a mini boss technically from Borderlands 1, but it was the defining moment for me when I realised that, oh, okay, this is what this game is about. I'm on board. It was the Nine Toes boss fight with the little subtitle that comes up where it says Nine Toes and then also he has 3 balls. I just thought, right, this is the tone that Borderlands is. Okay, I got it. I'm in.
Yep.
This is for me.
Yeah, that's a great one. That really is a great moment. And that Nine Toes, I can't unsee it. But he's got the 2 nipple clamps.
Oh yeah,
yeah. One of them jumps off of his nipple.
Yes, yeah, I noticed that in the remaster. I never noticed it in the original one though.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. It was there all along, but it's just something I noticed a long time ago, and I just can't unsee it.
Oh dear. have you got? So now that you're nearing the end of, I know your work is never done. You're probably already hard at work on endgame DLC stuff already, but like now that the game has gone gold and will be shipping very soon. What's it like within the studio in terms of taking time off? Are people allowed to take some time now? Or is it sort of mandatory or suggested, right, the studio's shutting down for 2 weeks while everyone catches their breath? Or are you going to take a break? How does that all work?
Oh, we don't shut down the whole studio because there's kind of we do rolling roll-offs, as it were, where if you think of it simply, the first people to roll off are generally concept art. They start concepting DLC stuff. Mm-hmm. New bosses, new areas, ideas, as well as the designers going for the high level of what the DLCs might want to be. Yeah. Because they just don't, at the end of the project, they don't have anything to concept. Mm-hmm. And then our code team stays on till the very, very end because they've got to be there, when the game launches, make sure all the online is running well. If there's any issues, we can get out, fixed quickly when consumers find them, because we're not going to kid ourselves. People are going to find bugs. Right. That's just how games work. And there's some things we can fix within hours. There's some things that will need to wait until we can actually get a full patch out there, which can take a matter of weeks to a month. Mm-hmm. So essentially we start the roll-offs, and we within those roll-offs we make sure people take time off. Depending on how much overtime people have been pulling, we've given up to a month off to people, as little as a couple days. That's generally not dependent on the quality of work. It's more of, hey, you were here 80 hours. you need to go home and rest. And we've gone as far as to turn off people's badges for a limited amount of time to make sure they don't come into work, because our guys love making games, and so a lot of times they'll feel bad if other people are doing work and they're not. And we have to be like, no, you're tired. You need to sleep. Go home. Go away.
Does that happen much to people? They don't want to go home. They want to stay and keep working.
Doesn't happen too often, but once in a while. I don't think we had to do that with anyone on Borderlands 3, but we basically over the last 3 months we've always had a good chunk of people out of the office taking vacation to try to rest and recover.
That's good. What is the hardest thing about a game to design? Is there one particular aspect that takes the longest to come together, or is there one definitive thing that once you've got that sorted, everything starts to fall into place?
It really it varies from game to game. It really depends on what you establish early on, what tools are built within the engine to help you make that, and then what those tools are capable of doing. Like, we built our whole gun system we've had for a while, so building new guns and altering that system, we had a pretty clear vision there, so all of that came together pretty well. Whereas there's some departments where we've been understaffed, so anything involving those, it can be harder to solidify. So yeah, there's not really a definitive answer there. It really just depends on what your staff is and what the direction of the game dictates. Because I guess you can look at it like they made Mass Effect Andromeda using the DICE engine, right?
Yes, yeah, whatever that's called.
Yeah, and that was a big problem. The DICE engine, though, is fantastic. It's fantastic for making Battlefield games. Fantastic for making Battlefront. Even though the problems it had, the actual gameplay of Battlefront 2 is amazing.
Yeah.
But for making a Mass Effect game, for making an RPG, it was very problematic. So it wasn't necessarily the design was difficult, but the design was difficult using the tools they had. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So sorry, I haven't heard a lot of this Krieg dialogue before. It's good fun. What's would you say? Because there's a definitive jump for me as a Borderlands fan from game to game in terms of the amount of characterization that the player character has. So in the first game they never really spoke at all. In the second game they started to speak a bit more. In the pre-sequel there was even more of that. In Borderlands 3, are we expecting our characters to sort of be a bit more chatty and react to things, react to quests and stuff like that a bit more?
Absolutely. That was a big goal with this game. That was one of the big successes of pre-sequel, we felt, was how much the player characters felt like characters because of the added VO. So we are not only making sure we're doing that for we did that for Borderlands 3, the core game, but also the future content. We're making sure we can bring these guys back in to record more things and react to the world around them. That's really important to us. That's also a thing that sometimes gets brought up is a character creation system in Borderlands, and we're pretty heavily against that for a Borderlands game, because creating the different Vault Hunters gives us those characters that we can run off of, and I think gives a lot of the flavor that Borderlands is.
Absolutely. It's nearly the sex number, Patrick. Are you ready?
Oh boy, yeah. I gotta go light up and take a nap.
Yes, that's it. Even though it's what time is it? 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10:20 over here.
10:20. Close enough. It's time to blaze it somewhere for sure. Look, we could speak for hours, and people are still asking questions. So we'll definitely have to get you on again once Borderlands 3 is out. We'll do a stream, you, Peter, and I, and we'll chat more Borderlands and play through a bit more. But you've got to get off to an important meeting because you're still busy making stuff. But it's 420, my dudes. Everybody blaze it.
Blaze it.
Wherever you are, it's the sex number.
All right, it's great playing with you, Ben.
Thank you so much for joining me, man, and we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, Absolutely.
Go get Borderlands 3, everyone.
Yes, please. And subscribe to TripleJump.
Yeah, that one too, for the love of God.
All right. Bye.
Thanks so much, man. Take care. And there he goes. What a wonderful man.
Blaze it.
Thank you, Espurious. Thank you so much. It is the sex time. Oh no, I don't know if he's going to leave or if he's just going to stay here. He may just stand there forever. Let's see if I can kick him out just so he doesn't die. Take care, Patrick. There we go. Now Ben can turn on his pro gamer skills. They were on the whole time. I hope you guys found that interesting. It was far less structured than the last chat that we had with Patrick, and he was he's got a lot of stories. He knows an awful lot about the Borderlands games, and even as a non-Borderlands fan, hopefully you found some interesting stuff there from the game development side of things. I'm now desperately going to try not to die. I might actually just, for God's sake, I might actually just switch to regular playthrough now, just so I don't embarrassingly die over and over again, because it's bloody hard. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's quit. There we go. Whew. Stop it. There we go. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I know we're an hour in. Oh, it's 4:22. That means it's 420 as well. Don't know if you knew that. I really need some water, but I also need the toilet, and I don't really know what to do. So there we go. Someone who never played any Borderlands doesn't have anything. Yeah, that was absolutely wonderful, incredibly interesting. Glad to hear it. Found it extremely interesting. Good. Good stuff. Have a lot more respect for Gearbox now. Glad to hear it. But does he know why they broke the OP levels in Borderlands 2? Mike! Oh, if only you'd asked me a minute ago. We could have asked him. We will get him back on. Promise, at some point, and we'll go through it again. We'll go through it again. Go have a wee. Okay, everyone's saying I can go and have a wee. I might do that then. Let's stick it back down to that one. And we'll just play some of the regular Borderlands 2 game for the rest of the time. Okay, right. I'm going to go to the toilet then. I'll leave you in the capable hands of... hang on. There we go. Okay, he'll look after you. I'm back. Mods, did he swear at all? Was he well behaved? Did he swear? Are we okay? Do I have to apologise for anything? Are we good? Are we good? Sorry, Dick's gone again now. I'm back. Oh, there's a lot of enemies on my screen. What's going on? They're all down there. Hello? They're all swearing in chat. For God's sake. For goodness sake. Tiny Peter's on holiday this week, as I explained in the description of the video, so hopefully you're already aware of that. Recorded the podcast as well, this weekend's podcast with Sam from Cultaholic earlier on. Great episode. Sam talks all about his experience with games, growing up as a Sega man.
Ben, that was wonderful and well helmed. Very insightful and fun. I am Ben Cooper on YT. Thanks for putting my questions to Patrick.
YT. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do with your life, Adolf Chivers, but I feel like maybe going by Ben would be a safer bet for you. But thank you very much. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. Thank you for asking questions. I tried to get through as many people's questions as possible. YouTube chat does a weird thing where if you don't scroll for a while and then you scroll down, it jumps straight to the bottom. So I probably missed a lot of stuff out, but hopefully it was all good. What are you guys doing in chat there? What's going on there? You're all just leaving full stops. I don't understand and I don't trust you. What are you doing? Mods, what are they doing? What are they doing in there? What's happening? What's happening? The mods are confused. I'm trying to scroll up to find some context. And I don't know what it is. Yeah, if you could, Cecil, if you could just ban everyone, that's fine. I'm just going to pretend they're not there because they're so rude. Let's go for kill dragons. That's something I can definitely go and die while doing. Maybe that's their way of revolting. Maybe. But it's fine because we're not talking about them. We're not giving them the attention they deserve. All of them. Gabriel, Stephanie, Louis J. Weber, Rapsputin, Dodgy Doodler. We're not even acknowledging any of them. Not a single one of them, Catherine. Not a single one. As long as we don't acknowledge them, then it's okay. Stock up on stuff. It's just a prank hand. Justin Mack ready. This is the final boss of the Tiny Tina DLC, actually. Let's go get our asses kicked by that. Lair of Infinite Agony. Sounds fun. Yeah, so who saw that Rules Boss tweet last night, huh? Who got a sneak peek at this? God, I thought that was Michael Johnson there for a second. Sorry, that's really unflattering. From a distance, it kind of looked like his cheeky face. Yeah, so that Rules Boss tweet. Any thoughts of you and peeps playing Man of Medan? We requested a review copy. Namco Bandai, no, they're not. Is it Namco Bandai? I think they publish it. Obviously, they don't really like us with their whole. What's it called? Little Nightmares 2 footage debacle. So we haven't. No, that's not the reason why. We haven't had a code, so we might ask Adam to perhaps buy one for the office, and then we'll stream that maybe after Detroit, perhaps. So this tweet was Rules Boss scheduled a tweet for Friday because there's a Rules Boss episode going out, and for some reason the date messed up and it went out last night instead and was there for 3 hours. Proudly promoting a video that's private because it's not going live until Friday. So that was kind of embarrassing. So some of you will know what Friday's Rules Boss Challenge is all about. But, hello? Why did that just... But it's fine now. Don't worry about it. Because it was Rules Boss. Rules Boss did it. Blame Rules Boss. Let us have the episode early. I can't. Tonight there's a list going out. Even though Tiny Peter's away this week, there's a Tiny Peter list. And then on Friday, it's Worst Games Ever for patrons. And an episode of Rules Boss at the same time, 6 p.m. Saturday, it's the podcast. Sunday, it's Rules Boss. It's Worst Games Ever for everyone else. Where am I meant to go? Round here. Can I... Hello? This place is confusing. Maybe it's through this big door. Hello? Did that do it? What did I just do? I don't understand this. Did I open that door? Yes, I think I did. This is probably why I didn't even defeat this boss. Because I'm so confused, I don't know where I'm going. Am I going to die? No, it'll be fine. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you, Catherine, for being the adult and coming forward and letting me know what everyone was doing. Playing a prank, huh? I go to the toilet for 2 minutes. And you... Oh, my God. You guys are weak. Jeez. Why are those skeletons exploding? Right, the way out's got to be this way, isn't it? No, it's not. That's not it at all. Did he just explode? I don't understand what's going on. But apparently the way to go is still further down. I literally haven't played this DLC for... Hello? Literally haven't played this DLC for 3 years. Oh, okay, through here it is then. With Peter being away, how do you actually feel about him replacing you with this marriage? It's been tough, but like, you know, it's fine. I get it, I suppose. I get it, I suppose. It's okay. I wish him all the happiness in the world. I hope she's worth it. No, I've known his wonderful fiancée as long as I've known Peter. They're dear friends, and I wish them all the happiness in the world. Okay, I think we're making progress now. Hello? Can I go through that door? Can you... Where? Where? Hello? Where am I meant to go? I feel like... Stop keeping things from me! Oh, God, that was a fast door. Further round? No, I feel like I'm getting further away. What? No. I just want to fight the boss. Why am I not allowed? Do I keep going deeper? Map? You're no use. I can't tell which floor I'm on. Doesn't make any sense. Wrong way. Find a statue with a bowl. Thank you, Dave. Huh. 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 Oh, I saw the statue with the bowl. That was through... Oh, God. Who are you? Who are you? Where is my super suit? There it is. Luckily I have some iridium left. What do you think you're doing, you spooky boy? Huh. Ah. Excellent. Thank you, Dave. Whee! The claptrap faces north. Very good. That bloody Uncharted puzzle. This is the raid Torg gives you. I can't even remember. It's been so long. But this looks like a... Hello, textures? This looks like a good place to start, though. Let's get some... Whichever one of these is ammo? Yes.
Aren't magic, but they are
Good.
Watch out for those orcs.
I'm ready. It doesn't look menacing, so it's fine. I remember when it was implied that Tiny Peter was Ben and Adam B's child. I can't even remember that. It's been so long. Feels like a lifetime ago. I'm sorry, am I playing Dark Souls? What's going on? Quipscope for Borderlands 3? Absolutely. It might not be immediately, because as I said earlier, unfortunately, I'm away the weekend it comes out, but I'll play it as soon as I can, and we'll talk about it as soon as I can. I think our in-house editor/writer extraordinaire James is bringing in his Xbox tomorrow. Going to try and play some Gears 5 and do a Quipscope on that. I don't know really much about Gears. I've played bits and pieces here and there. I tested some of the multiplayer stuff when I worked in game development because that was being developed there. But I really don't know much more than that, so you'll have to forgive me if I say loads of stupid stuff in the video. Oh, they've got a lot of health. Get him! I'm stronger now, although I am running out of ammo real quick. Brood the Invincible 2. Oh my god, what is happening? Come back here. Where's he gone? I see you. Don't you heal. We're real mad if you heal. Right, that's him. 55 XP. Fantastic. Ow. Who's next? And yes, I did see that Batista, for some reason, is going to be in Gears 5. No idea why. We talk about it on the podcast. Obviously, Sam is a WrestleMan, so he has some insight into Batista that I don't. This is, I mean, I know I'm a much higher level than these guys, but this is going surprisingly well. That ammo count is not looking healthy, though. Where's he gone? Get out of the way, Flame Boy! Ow! I can't see anything! With Batista in Gears 5, what celebrity would you put in Borderlands? Well, Ice-T is in Borderlands 3. I don't know if you guys knew that. So that's amazing. I don't know. I don't know who I'd put in. Maybe... Oh my god, that hurt a lot. Maybe someone like... God, I'm trying to think who I would... Maybe Chris Pratt. I'd like to see Chris Pratt in a game, playing the lead in sort of a comedy Borderlands style game. That would be fun. Alright, there goes my ammo. Oh, so it's regenerating a little bit. Oh, it was for a second there. Right, what have I got? Got these other guns too. Can you two do the podcast while wrestling each other? I don't know. I don't know that we'd be able to concentrate very well. I'll make a note of it for next time. We'll see if it's a possibility. It might be pretty tough though.
I feel terrible about my part in the tricking earlier. Please accept this monetary recompense as apology.
You're forgiven, Espurious. As long as everyone is sorry, then it's okay. I forgive you all. But don't you dare embarrass me in front of my children again. Don't you dare! Come here. I won't hurt you much. Oh, ammo. Ammo. I need ammo. What are these things? What if we're not sorry? Oh, ammo shrine. Okay, I'll take that. Oh god, what's happening? Is it giving me ammo? Is that what just happened? Yes. Okay, well, we're sorted then. What if we're not sorry? Well, Carrie, I'll tell you what will happen. Oh my god. Well, that's the end of that then. Oh, it's firing its bullets back at me. That's cool. I wonder if I die, if it'll all reset and I have to do it again. If you're not sorry, you get banned! Lord Brotovich and Cecil Prumps will make your life a living hell. You'll go to YouTube jail. And you don't want to go to YouTube jail, trust me. Oh, I'm going to have to start again, aren't I? That's really annoying. F in the chat.
I am but a humble merchant, and these are my until we meet again.
Closed for your safety. Don't coddle me. Catherine, thank you very much. Just you watching, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't feel bad about not being able to donate. Just coming along and watching and commenting and supporting us makes all the world of difference. It really does. You have nothing to feel bad about. Are you going to make me... I don't have to pay money, do I? That's fine, I've already done it. What are these other shrines then? What do these do? What's this? Oh, it's all out. That's fine. Come on then, let's get this done. Ah! No! Leave me alone! Get down here. You're up first. Whoever wants to die first, get down. We'll take on the fire boy. Oh my god, they're really hurting me this time. Oh, it's fine. Pew, 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 pew. Guys, is there some kind of civil war being waged in the chat? Can you guys just behave, please? Just behave, just be good to each other. We don't have to fight. We can all be friends. Some of us can be friends. The rest of you can just sort of go to stream jail. Healing. Oh, okay. We should probably take out the guy called Helianth. There might be a clue in his name as to what his special ability is. Get down, you mother! I don't know where the rest of these dragons are, so I'm just going to throw grenades in every direction. Oh my god, I've died again. It went so well the first time. Hopefully Helianth stays still. Though I fear it won't be enough. I can't do it in time. No! Okay, that's it. I give up on there. Let's go do a different quest. The dragons are not nice. The dragons are not nice. So there are two distinct camps now. There's Team Carry, and then there's Team Mod. I'm on Team Mod. I've got to be on Team Mod. I have to be. They maintain order. Pro Dragon Slayer soloed. Yeah. Sure did. Just smashed it. Let's go do a quest that won't kick my ass. Monster Mash? I haven't done any of these. Ignored. That might be why. What are these? I haven't done that before. The Sword in the Stoner. That sounds appropriate for Blaze It time.
Let's say unmotivated golem somewhere around here with a pretty sweet sword stuck in his back. I'd appreciate it if you could bring it back to me.
How do I get out? Up here. Oh god, I'm gonna have to run back through this stupid stuff, aren't I? Let's go! I'm pro-establishment. Yeah, because it's my establishment. I'm pro-me. I don't want people to... I don't want people to be angry and upset. I want people to have a nice time and be good to each other. How do I get out? Help! I'm trapped. Let me out. Why is there no fast travel here? I'm just going to have to run through this whole stupid thing, aren't I? Here we go. Boing. Boing. Which class are you thinking of for the first run on Borderlands 3? Definitely Siren. Oh, God. Always play as a Siren. Gotta be a Siren. All the classes look great, though. This is the first time where I've genuinely had to think quite hard about maybe playing as someone else. Because I always go Siren. And the one that you never usually play... The one that you never usually play as is the Soldier, because the Soldier is like... Who wants to play as the Soldier, right? That's the boring class. But this time, there is no Soldier. All the classes look good. I'm into it. I'm excited. Huh. Okay, is this how I do this? This doesn't seem very safe. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. God. Keep getting squished. How do I get out? There's got to be a way. Oh God, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Oh God. Dave, if you're saying you hate this bit, what am I meant to do? It's gonna keep getting squished. I've lost nearly 20 million in-game dollars since I started running through here. Okay. How's this gonna go? I think I got it. I think I got it. We're through. God. What did that do? Who knows, right? Who knows? Grimst, how do I? I just want to leave. I don't want any trouble. I'm just trying to find my way out. This way? Stairs are a good sign. Oh no, it's not this way, is it? Go away. Oh, guys, I feel like I've made a mistake by teleporting to here. Would you leave me alone? Who did that? This way? Ben is looking for a way out, yes. Any way out will do. Hello? There we go. Okay, this is promising, actually. I feel like we're going in the right direction. Hello? Leave me alone. Neo! Oh God! Ow! Oh, see, this is a checkpoint. I don't want a checkpoint. I just want to be allowed to go home. Stop biting me. Up? Maybe? Up? Sit down. Ow. This way. How was your Domino's? You know what? It was okay. It was okay. Did I feel shame afterwards? Yes. Wobbly pants, I did. I did feel shame afterwards. Did I then throw the rest of it away in the morning because I couldn't bring myself to eat anymore? Not because I didn't want to, but because I knew that if I started, I wouldn't be able to stop. Yes, I did, wobbly pants. Yeah, I threw a lot of it away. There was a great deal of guilt involved, but it's gone. It's gone now. So it's out of mind. Made some pesto pasta and chicken last night. Good healthy meal. That's what I've got. That's what I've got for the rest of the week. I'll be okay, don't worry. Thank you, Wobbly Pants, though. I appreciate the concern. No, it's okay. Wobbly Pants, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll be fine. It's okay. Where the hell am I going, Borderlands? Patrick, come back! I don't know what to do. I'll just go this way, I suppose, even though it's back down. Oh, Christ, it's a door. Oh, there we go. Out this way. Apparently the way out is above me. Somewhere. Where? Hello? Please let me leave. This might be it, actually. Is this going to take me up? I want to go up. I don't want to go down. I want to go up. Let me go up. Okay, there's a ceiling there. Back up we go. Who did that? There we go. Stop it. Am I just stuck in here forever now? What happens if I jump down here? I know I've undone all my progress, but there might be a fast travel place, maybe. Yes! Ah! Christ! I found it. I got it. I got it. Make sure you hydrate, everybody. It's really important. Right, let's change to literally any other quest but that. Find Prince Jeffrey and make him stop being a douche. That's a Game of Thrones quest. Sirentology. You know what, I'm going to skip to a different playthrough. And that'll be fun. Boop, 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 boop. Is there still a war waging in the comments? Mods, what are you doing? Just Hong Kong it. Just shoot them. Just beat them up. If China can do it, you guys can do it. It's fine. Just let them have it. Just go get them. Please don't call him Shelf Dick. It's weird enough that he's there, but I don't like him being called Shelf Dick. Let's go to Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. Carrie's willing to die for her cause. It's all kicking off. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what your demands are in the chat. What is it that you want? Is there something we can give you? Or are you just kicking up a fuss because you haven't had your dinner yet? Don't worry, we have settled on pie and peas instead of what? Okay, that sounds like something that I could get on board with. Actually, I could go for some pie and peas. Okay. You want blood? I can't give you blood. I can give you peas. I can't give you blood. That seems like an unfair request. Stephanie just wants death, apparently. Peas. You want peas. Love and peas. Okay, gotcha. Well, I think between Cecil and Lord Brotovich, peas can be arranged. We'll hook you guys up, don't worry. Alright, well, we have a bone crusher over here. You settle on a slightly less aggressive name. Maybe people wouldn't want to shoot you all the time. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Bone Crusher. Just know your place, man. Just chill out for just a minute. Just get off the floor. What do you want, lunatic bomber? How about you? I got an idea. How about you don't do that, huh? Goliath. More like goodbyeth. Oh, he's shooting me real good over there, guys. Ow. Murdering marauder. Just stop it. Take my big gun. Now, the important thing you guys all need to do on Monday when Peter's back and he does his stream is just pick up exactly where you left off and just keep fighting and don't explain anything. Just tell him that he needs to make a decision about which side he's on, and we'll see. We'll see what he's all about. We'll see what he's all about. Okay. On we go. Bone Crusher. I already killed you. Ha! Die! What's that? Oh, a nudie magazine. Great. Please stop shooting me. Where's that flying thing? Boom! And you, what do you want? Yes, a newbie magazine. That's what they say. Right, now you're going to die. We're nearly at the end of the stream now, but there's just one last quest that you should all get excited for because it's the best quest in the game. Are you ready? I hope you're all ready. Get ready. Why am I on fire? Run away!
Dusty was just a puppy. Almost as nice as my first dog. You let your boss know I'm gonna do to him.
Die!
You? What do you mean they ain't from Hyperion? Oh, must be a new recruit. All right, boys, let's put them through the ring. Oh yeah.
Boom! Get out of here. This guy, desperately trying just to get to this quest that I want to play, but there's just a million people over here. It's a real pain in the ass. How about you two Goliaths fight each other for a bit? Oh, he's vomiting. That's nice. I don't want your vomit. Yep, Shooty McShooty Face. Or Shooty McShoot Face, that's the quest we're going to do. Excuse me? Do you want to die? Stop shooting me! I want to... You're embarrassing me. I want to show my friends this quest. Just die. It's real simple. You just need to lie down. Take that. God. Right. Okay, I think that's done. Here we go. Best... Oh my God. Best quest in the game. We're doing it. Oh Christ! You guys can't just give me a minute apiece. Another bone crusher again. You're dead. Oh, Muscles. Nice to meet you. But you are also dead. Okay, sorry about that. Face McShooty. Shoot this guy in the face. Shoot Face McShooty in his face.
Shoot me in the face! In the face! Do it! Shoot me in the face! Face, 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 face!
Shoot this guy in the face, but not in the arm, but not in the leg, but not in the chest.
At the sound of the bell, it will be face shooting o'clock! Bong! Knock, knock! Who's there? Shoot me in the face! End of joke! I'm gonna sing a song! Shoot me at the end of it! Da 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 da! Bong! Thank you!
Best quest in the entire game. Oh, there it is. Nice. Well, there we go. That's the end of the stream, everybody. Thank you so much for coming along. Much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed the chat with Patrick for the first hour or so. Learned lots of interesting tidbits. Thank you to everybody who asked questions. There is a Peter list out in an hour's time. There is a rules boss out on Friday. A worst games ever for patrons on Friday. Worst games ever for everybody else on Sunday. The podcast is going out on Saturday. It's a good few days of content. Ben leaves us a clan divided. Now, this is for you guys to work out amongst yourselves. Okay, this isn't on me. Peter will work it out on Monday. You guys, talk to Peter about it. Be fine. You guys will be fine. Don't worry. Don't even worry about it. You'll be all right. Right. I'm going now. Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.